All right. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. So it sounds like that's coming in. All right. Welcome to the live stream Twitch listening party, where I started this before the world was ending. Hopefully we get some people to join. Oops. Yeah, it's 6:01. I think I'm gonna chill until like 6:10 or so to let people join. So yeah, there we go. Let's see if that picks me up as a viewer eventually. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna let people join here. We're doing an Axi Draw giveaway today. It's of this Magneto Axi Draw piece that I've done, signed. It's got all that jazz. So pretty nifty little piece. I'm excited to give away. Hell yeah! Shout out Leaner. Lean is in the mix. What up? Yeah, like I said, we're gonna be giving away to one lucky person this Axi Draw, and yeah, finally putting some music out there and getting this whole thing going. Looks like we got 2 viewers. Shouts out. Now it's looking like 3 viewers packing it in. Yeah, so you're at if you made it this far, you probably know where you are. But we got the Party on Mars. I started this before the world was ending EP Twitch listening party. I'm going to be going over some of the tracks, taking you through kind of how it all goes. But yeah, cheers to you this Friday, wherever you are. I'll be enjoying throughout, and you should be as well because it's Friday. So let's do that Friday thing. Just doing some final social stuff here. Hopefully we can get some more people to join. But yeah, I'm stoked everyone's here. Been a long, like, it's way harder to release something than you think ever. Just way more work, and they don't tell you that it's not as fun as you think. The non-music stuff, of course, I'm talking about. There we go. This is what I was looking for. This is what I'm up to, by the way, if you want to see. I'm doing a little social media here. Yo, got Mendenhall. Shouts out Mendenhall. One of the GOAT video people I know. / amazing photographer. Should check his work out. Mendenhall visuals. Really dope stuff. But yeah, we'll keep waiting a little bit longer here. We got like 5 more minutes. And I'm blasting this out to these people here. All right. But yeah, like I said, if you made it this far, you are in the right place. Let's see how much more time. Oh, like I said, I'll give it like 4 more minutes, and then I'm going to roll into the EP and start talking about the tracks. I guess, yeah, I'm so stoked to have finally put something out. I can't tell you. It's been a long time coming, so I am very excited. Sometimes you have crazy shit happen and it ends up working out for you in a weird way. So, yep. All right. I also, if you want to see some of the stuff, you can see in here. This was actually how I was doing the music videos in here. So, like, all the stuff is kind of sprinkled between these two projects. This is how I made all the album artwork, if you want to look at how crazy that is. Um, and I mean, this is like everything from editing profile pictures to title boards to the album cover itself. You know, for some reason it doesn't have a logo on it. But yeah, I must have been changing something up. But basically, this is where everything started for all the design ideas. These are the profiles that you see that I was using on the socials and stuff. So really went on a deep dive. You know, there's my Spotify profile pic. This was, I think I used this in a promo of some sorts. And there's a bunch of these. You know, here's another one that I did. That was a promo for a single, the intro single, the first one that we're gonna hear. And you can see this is all still there from content that I just was making at that time. So that's what's really cool. This whole project, from the marketing, the production, the writing, everything, like, I was 100% involved in. And you know, if it sucks, there's no one to blame but myself. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, in here, this was some early designs. If you've been following the whole project, you might have seen some of these. I was asking some people for some feedback on which ones they liked. And then slowly, you know, we got closer and closer to what the original would end up being, which was this. This was an alternative design that never made it. But what's cool about this is it's animated. So I would just stop it on a still and kind of pick that as the background. So yeah, as you can see, that was what was so intense about this project for me. Was I've never tried to release something where you dive in and you're a part of everything, from the promotion to the marketing to the design to all the fucking technical mumbo jumbo that they throw at you, from ASCAP to DistroKid, CD Baby, that whole world. So it was a big learning experience. And it looks like we've got some more people who have joined. Just so you know, giveaway. One lucky person, oop, there's my ceiling, is going to get custom, one-of-a-kind Magneto Axi Draw. So if you're an X-Men fan, you're totally hooked up. This is really cool. It's super detailed. It's from my villain series, which is completely sold out. So this is the only one that didn't sell. But I still think it's a dope piece. It's a really dope piece. It's signed and signatured and all that jazz. So yeah, it's 6:10. Let's get into it. Listening party. Oh, I did not mean to click that. I meant to click this. So let's go in here. So for this first track, the first thing I kind of wanted to say, I don't know why X Space is open up, was This, I don't know when this was done in the writing process, but it was kind of at one point a throwaway and wasn't doing very well. And I remember I think I deleted everything but these drums, or maybe even just left these hats. I think that's what it was. And then I redid everything else around it. So basically rewrote the whole thing. And the first thing that got written for this particular one was this part right here, which if you've been following the project, you definitely know that. That's actually, if you look in Ableton and just type in minor harp, it is literally a preset within the. So you can hear I pitched down this glissois, minor harp glissois, and that's what ends up making that particular noise. I changed a little bit on the delay and some of the tonality of it, but the main point that I wanted to kind of throw out there and just kind of show when you're working on anything like this is I've never shied away from presets, especially if it achieves the sound that I'm going for. I wanted something like a harp. That's what I was looking for, a harp. And I was going to put my own delay on it. This particular harp already had delay, and it was in a minor key, which this track's in a minor key. So kind of everything fell into place. I built the rest of the track around that. One other cool thing, and I just want to shout out the Freak Show Industries Mishby plugin, is what created all that insane, like throughout the song you hear like these weird distortion noises. Are you guys able to hear that in the chat? Hopefully. Might be coming in kind of weird, but yeah, so this was all from this crazy plugin, and I think I ran some sound effects, or I recorded maybe even my own audio for that. And yeah, I just want to shout that out. That was a cool thing, and sometimes you can get a plugin that'll just take a sound, and I don't even know what the original sounded like, but it was just so rhythmic and great. So shout out Freak Show Industries, support them if you can. Yeah, without further ado, let's listen to intro. So thanks so much again. Shout out you. Why am I not on the screen? Here we go. Let's get Magneto off. But thank you so much. You made it this far. You made it to Friday. And legit, this is the most viewers I've had. So here's us. We got 4. Philippa's here.
Where's the camera? Oh, here.
Right here.
Oh, it's over there. Oh.
Yeah.
Where do I see all this stuff? Hi.
Yeah.
Long time no see.
Exactly. All right. So let's open up track 2. Which is called round 3. Don't worry, the irony on that one was not lost, but order for me was kind of important. But yeah, so pretty much
It goes so slow.
it's delayed, yeah.
Oh, it's delayed. Okay, I need to get a fan in here as well.
So yeah, basically for this one, let's see what I have for round 3 here. Oh, I was really proud of this one because I've always been a big fan of different genres. I don't like just locking into one genre. I like even putting different styles and genres within songs. And if you look, I believe it's, what minute mark is it at? 48 seconds. So like right around here, this section, you'll hear there's like a little drum and bass interlude that's like maybe 20 seconds. Yo!
Who's that?
We don't know, but it's another person in the mix. I love it. And so basically for that part, I was just really proud. And this whole song is a really smooth one, but especially love whenever I can sneak in a little something like a drum and bass interlude there. And there's also some really cool tiki hats that I kind of spread throughout. They're called delayed hats, but you can kind of hear them here. And the real clickiness of it kind of gives it this extra, almost a gallop over the top, which I love. So without further ado, here's round 3, track 2. And happy Friday, everyone. This part right here. Yeah. Nice little cymbal ride out on that one. So yeah, as you can see in there, I love that little bridge part. That's always been one of my favorite parts of that particular one. Let's load up cut. No, not saving any of these. Yeah, and shout out Boy with Tech. Welcome to the party. I love it. So I'm going to switch up. If you can see too, down here, I've built this little module where I can switch to the next song. So the next track on this one is actually called Cut. This is one of those super rare songs. I mean, you can just see, like you saw the other songs, there's so much more going on. I'd almost even, when I look at this, I'm like, is this even going to be good? This is kind of scary because there's so little there. But the whole kind of original idea for this, and the whole EP in general, like a lot of what this was one of the artists invited me to a production chat for Portland producers. His name is A Luxury. Producer name's A Luxury. You can get their album Recollections. It's incredible. It's Bandcamp Fridays. If you're looking for some stuff to support, you can go to my social media. I have a huge list of artists that I've supported today. And yeah, and I'm going to make it a story on my IG so you can get all that and everybody can have the list. But one of the top ones was definitely A Luxury. And another person who's on here is Avi Sinclair, who's actually responsible for the sample in track 6 and gave me the blessing to put that on this record. And both of them had a huge influence. And I think the Discord chat in general was just a really positive thing that was going on. And one of the questions that got proposed in the production chat basically was, what do you use for basses? Like, what do you use? This synth? What preset do you use? Or what are your go-to for basses? There was all the usual. I take a sine wave, I pitch it down. I use sub, or I filter pass, organ, a lot of different sounds and ideas. But and I don't remember where I found this, but I was able to chime in, and I said, what's a great one that people forget is just to use a flute. And so what I did was just to show kind of how the bass would sound, I was able to take the flute, pitch it down, and that's kind of how the whole rest of this track came together, was just off of that. Pretty much after that, I added like a drum break, a shaker, and some chords, and that's all this track is. So I'm really proud of it. It's definitely one of my favorite songs on there. Not my favorite, but it's up there. And yeah, without further ado, let's listen to this one. Cut, track 3. Yeah. Anyway, that track especially, like, someone asked, Boy with Tech asked, do you find it weird listening to your own music? And yeah, I think you definitely do. I will say over time, I think it's a lot like when you first hear your own voice, you start to get used to it more and more and more. It's always going to be weird though. They say even like announcers who've been doing it forever and heard their voice a million times, they're still saying it sounds pretty weird. So I think it's kind of like that in a lot of ways, but that song, even though I've heard it thousands of times, literally, that's how many times I've listened to it. It still makes me feel good. So I think that's the power of music sometimes. Even though I've heard it so many times, it still gives me that feeling. So let's move right along here. Track 4. Okay, cool. So for track 4, this one's called MISP. There's a lot of synth stuff going on, and a lot of dropouts in the beat. So I think what I really liked about this one and what drew me to it was, first of all, it does sound like it could take place in sci-fi, in my opinion, and it feels like there's a lot of space, and it's big and small at the same time, which I like. There's also this really cool thing that I wanted to show everyone. Anybody who has headphones on will hear this, but I'm using an auto pan down here, and you can hear, let's grab a part where there's some noise here. So if you can hear that, the panning, if you have speakers that can pan, kind of goes all over the headphones. And it just does a really good job of creating more space in this track. So this track, I think, is all about space. The one other thing I wanted to point out is this track also has bongos. So I love bongos. Anybody who knows me knows I love bongos. I sneak them in everywhere. This one's no different. So yeah, that's pretty much this MISP. Like I said, I think the synths, a lot of the stuff I did with the synths was really cool. So here we go. Without further ado, MISP. Axi Draw Giveaway. If you're locked and loaded. There's some of that white light. All right. So yeah, that was MISP. The next one is Looked. The main thing with this one, which is really cool, is this this features Elvis, my dog. So that's pretty sweet. Well, can you put him in frame? I'm going to show the.
Oh gosh, it's almost dinner time.
Yeah, he's very unhappy with the scene right now. I don't think he's a fan, but this is all him drinking water, and I put a bunch of effects over it. You can kind of hear he's like lapping it up, kind of thing. You can hear his like little collar as well. And basically, that was the coolest thing about this one is Elvis made his official. You know, he wants writing credit pretty much, so I've got to hook him up with royalties and all that jazz. But it's worth it because he's so cool. So yeah, without further ado, let's get that one up. Oh, my thing's not big enough. Fix that real quick here.
Oh, he gets dinner early tonight. He's smart. Come on, buddy.
Okay, so I'm just adding some stuff in here. But yeah, I think that's pretty much. Oh, and I did some cool stuff with. If you look down here, I have what's called a ghost kick, and that goes to. I believe that goes into the pad. And you can hear the pad will kind of cut in and out based on the kick. And it sounds weird with nothing else in it, but that space is right when my kick hits. So this one has like a really fat kick. So without further ado, here is Looked, track 5. Then long dub delay with the Elvis crazy noise. All right. For this next one, I want to make sure to shout out Avi Sinclair. If you heard at the beginning there, oh, this isn't the one I wanted. I wanted to support the flow. Here we go. Here we go. This is, you know, from Avi Sinclair, who helped with track 6 on this. It's Bandcamp Friday, so if you can, go support. Awesome stuff. Avi was a big part of inspiring on the Discord. Renee Luxury kind of like were founders of that whole thing, and I remember it was so cool because they had this section that was for samples that were free to use. Like, you know, I posted some weird synth noodle stuff that I did, and basically people could post whatever, and then the idea was, you know, if you used it for something, post it back in the chat, you know, and kind of, you know, be cool about it and everything. And yeah, I ended up just going crazy and built around the whole sample, essentially. And yeah, and it was, let's see, can I peel off a piece of it? I could probably bring it back to its original state. Right, well, let's just copy and paste it over here. And then basically, you know, it was a really long sample, and it wasn't the speed or, you know. Almost like a really abstract, hard to find even where there's a rhythm with it. But I just loved the sound. It really spoke to me, and like I said, I wanted to build the whole rest of the song around it. So if you can, support Avi Sinclair. They were awesome in letting me kind of use the sample, and it made one of my favorite tracks on the EP. Like, I'm really proud of this one. So you know, without further ado, oh, that's 6, maybe 2. Oh gosh. Anyway, the numbers kind of threw it off, but yeah, basically this is track 6, Party on Mars, featuring Avi Sinclair. I can just go delete this 6 and I think, well, if I make it 1 smaller, would it make a difference? No, I don't think it will. Hopefully that fixes it. Yeah, there we go. So I did all this without the numbers. I tried to add the numbers. I tried to get fancy. Sometimes you can't get fancy. But this Party on Mars, Hungry, featuring Avi Sinclair. Yeah, without further ado, that's kind of the story on this one. And this was the first track that was made for the project. All the other tracks kind of just tumbled out after this one. So very inspirational. This is 100% a Bobby Dazzler. That is correct. Absolutely one of my favorite tracks. I was actually really nervous when I had to ask Avi Sinclair if I could use it. Normally, if I do a collab, I do a collab with someone in person, and it's kind of just assumed that you're doing the collab, so it's okay to use. So it was different, kind of doing it through the internet. And even though I'd gotten it kind of approved in the chat, I wanted to really, really confirm it. So I didn't have their number or anything. I remember hitting them up on Instagram, and I was nervous as all hell. I was like, if you want me to take it down, it's no problem. I can throw it out of the project if you don't want it to come out. They were super cool about it, and basically were like, no, this is awesome. I love what you did with the sample. Obviously I gave them full credit, writing credit, everything, all that jazz. But definitely support obviously Claire. I mean, none of the Portland music people are doing as good as they were when they could do shows, and I'm sure everyone knows that. So, definitely support it. And Avi is obviously super talented, and I'm incredibly proud to have gotten to work with them on this awesome track. So yeah, that is track 6. It's definitely one of my favorites. I'm saving out my favorite. You'll know my favorite. But on to track 7. This one is called Wednesday. The cool thing about the Wednesday one is I've been trying to get into doing weekly streaming and having a schedule, and before everything got crazy, I kind of had it where I was, I had a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday thing that I was doing. And for Wednesdays, I was doing Wave Wednesday, where I was basically I was creating a song live, like writing a track in Ableton or Fruity Loops, whichever program I wanted to use, and then giving it an hour and you watch the whole thing. And the crazy thing is, as I was working on this record, this track ended up sneaking on, and it was one that I made in like practically an hour. And if you've been following some of the social media stuff we've been posting, you saw that there was that making of this particular track. So it's one of those cool ones where it was like made on the air, and I think part of what's so cool about it is there's a lot of pressure when I was performing the synth part live and everything. And sometimes pressure can really help make for a better performance. So I think it did in this case. And without further ado, here's Wednesday, Party on Mars. Oh, that is hungry. We got to switch that out. My beat. I'm juggling a lot of parts here, as you can see. I'm running a crazy one-man band live stream here. And I'm my own manager, so let's not forget that. But here we go. This looks much more like it. Gotta have the Rhodes keys. So yeah, that's Wednesday. Really fun track. On to track 8. Track 8 is called Neuro. Main thing is this one was cool. So we did this sample pack for the Discord. And essentially, it was a bunch of people just recording samples and whatnot. And you know, A Luxury, who's running the thing, putting it together, was like recommending we do some, you know, folly, just record whatever, record yourself, you know, cooking or whatever. And one of the things I did for this particular one, down here, you can see, I was just like recording myself watching the NBA. You can't hear much of it. There's a lot of like really weird stuff that came out of this and plays throughout, and it kind of plays really quiet. As you can see, it's like 6 dB or something, but it just added this extra texture to it. And yeah, it was kind of one of those weird ones. The other thing I did with this one too is I never really liked this Wurlitzer line, but I put just a crazy amount of reverb on it and did some filtering, and I think it added enough. It was just too repetitive, and I think sometimes putting little effects on that, on something that you're not liking, and yeah, it's just sometimes, like I said, effects can they can extend a sound that maybe you're going to abandon, basically. So that's kind of all I wanted to say about this one. Track 8, Neuro. Thanks so much for tuning in. I can't thank you enough. Like I said, giveaway. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but someone's getting shipped this Magneto Axi Draw. Original Party on Mars one. Bass on this one, as you can see. Anytime you get your bass to look like that, you almost don't even need to hear it. And it's got the woo! It's got the wave tail going. Definitely happy with how all the sonic stuff came out. Definitely not a flatlining type red line guy. I like to have dynamics. You can always turn it up. All right. So track 9 was another kind of late addition, and I'm pretty confident. I pretty much just left it on just because I love this lead sine wave that I did. It's a fun one too. It's got like a different groove, kind of a similar feel, but like I said, a little different groove. There's some cool FX hits in it as well. But my favorite part is definitely the lead sine wave. I cannot play keyboard or any real instrument that well, but I'm sure other producers will back me up on this. I can play something and then take what I play and place it in different areas and kind of get to where I was thinking of going. And you can see I did a lot of moving and a lot of chopping of the parts that I wanted and repeating. But you know, I guess that's a little bit of behind the scenes of sometimes how you know, not everyone's playing this stuff in one take perfect, you know, the Jay-Z method or whatever. There's still people out there who, you know, gotta chop it. Another one with just not much. Shout out Cincy. I know Glasheen's in the house somewhere. The Natty. Get some Skyline chili. I also love that part. This is officially the most people I've had on a stream and the most people I've had in the chat simultaneously since I've started all the streaming. So if you're watching right now, thank you so much. It means the world. Okay, no Skyline. And that one's called Ooh-Ha, which is actually Wahoo backwards. If you wanted a little look behind how advanced my naming is. It's incredibly advanced. All right, let's get in here. Let's switch this to track 10. Can't believe how far we've made it. Okay, so this one's cool. This one's called Whip, which was for What Is This originally, and then I shortened it down. Gosh, that's rare you see that. There must have been a reason for that. But if you've noticed, I don't often have MIDI tracks in my stuff. I like to render everything out. But for some reason, this one has some MIDI stuff in it. Might have been a later ad. But what's cool about this one, I think, it really has a the most unique groove of any of them. If you're an Ableton head or go in and do a lot of Ableton stuff, you know, drum rack is just super powerful. And then within the drum rack, down here, there's this little thing under the clip section. It's called Groove. And you can select a groove. And for each one of these particular ones, I selected kind of a different, for each one of the parts, I selected a different MPC groove, which I'm sure all the MPC heads and anybody who knows like analog gear, the groove will do is it'll quantize what you played to their groove, and so you could play something and be like boom top, and it will move where you put it to where that particular groove is supposed to have the boom top, and it can totally change the beat. Like I guess I could do it. It's not recommended to do what I'm about to do, but we're going to do it. So this is with no groove. You can just hear how straight it is, straight ahead, boom, top, boom, top, boom, top. And then with the swing, this is what it sounds like. It's probably hard to hear the actual difference between those two, but believe me when I say it is drastic, and it's just moving notes, small little bits, incremental, kind of off the grid. And yeah, long story short, I really think that's what made this one so good. So without further ado, here's PartyOnMarz Wit. said, I really love the groove on that whole one. And now, I know I've been teasing it the whole time, but I told you I was gonna pick or eventually play my favorite track. This one is actually, it's my favorite one. It's the weirdest one in terms of, it's just so strange. It doesn't really sound electronic or anything. This part sounds like horns, and it's actually a reversed piano. Incredibly slowed down. So it probably should have, anyway, it's doing all kinds of stuff in the stretching that adds these kind of unique elements to it. Why is this sample offline? Uh-oh. I did some weird stuff before this, so maybe this is what's going on. Let's see. Is this what I'm playing? If not, I have an MP3 of it. I'm breaking my own stuff, which is crazy. What does it mean, samples offline? All right, well, luckily I have an MP3 of this. But yeah, this is Hot Dog. This is, like I said, one of my favorite tracks on it. Make sure it's still coming through, right? Yeah. There we go. So get your hat in the ring in the chat if you haven't already. We got 4 minutes. I'm about to pick the winner. So much delay on those hats. That's the best part. Boom. I started this before the world was ending. The EP from PartyOnMarz. All right, like I said, get in the chat now if you haven't already. I've got 5 people up for the giveaway because it doesn't show me if you don't chat. I got Leaner, I got Mendenhall, aka Bullet Tooth, I got Salt Fiend, I got Boy with Tech, and Not Beer Glasheen. So if there's anybody that wants to get in on this giveaway, speak now or forever hold your peace. Generating. Number 3 got it. Salt Fiend, are you still here?
I ordered sushi.
Salt Fiend, you still in the chat? I think Salt Fiend might have bounced. I'm going to regenerate here. All right, 5. Not Beer Glasheen. Glasheen, you gotta get me your address. So Glasheen, get me your address. You got the Magneto. This is yours, my dude.
Send a DM.
Woo! Thank you so fucking much, everybody who tuned in. This was awesome. It actually was way better than I expected. Like I said, most viewers I've ever had, and biggest chat. If you haven't already, don't forget to purchase the EP. That's not hard to find. You know, PartyOnMarz, Bandcamp.com. This is the effort right here. Bunch of people already supporting it, which has been great. I'm super stoked. Bandcamp Friday ends in 4 hours. Thank you so much to everyone. I'm glad people enjoyed the insights. It was my pleasure. And as crazy and sadistic as it sounds, I am ready to start working on the next one. So that's terrifying, right? But I can't thank everybody enough in the chat. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I won't keep anyone any longer, but Glasheen, you got a Magneto coming to you. So, boom. Woo! Thanks so much. I couldn't be more stoked. Cheers wherever you are. Happy Friday. We out. Adios.